Pakia, way, takahia. Kamate, kaura, kamate, kaura, tenete, tangata, na, tiki, my fucker, pitite, kupane, pitite, he.
I must tell you, I'm both excited and challenged. Excited because tonight I get to talk about something I'm very passionate about, and that is success and abundance. I'm challenged because it's the last session of the night, and I've got 17 minutes to teach 100 North Queenslanders how to do the Māori haka. Because tonight there is a deep lesson that we can all learn from the principles and the story behind the kamate haka, and that's what we're going to learn tonight. The kamate haka, or the history of it, starts itself with the Māori warrior called Te Paraha. He had a lot of enemies and he had a terrible upbringing. His father was killed and chopped into pieces and eaten. And he had enemies, I tell you. This Te Paraha was fleeing from his enemies who were coming to try and kill him. He went to a nearby village to try and find refuge from those who sought to kill him. He came to the chief and his wife and asked for refuge, and they hid him into a kumara pit, like a potato pit under the ground. They submerged him in soil and in potatoes, and over the top of them he had a cover over this. And the wife, she stood in front of that kumara pit and sought protection for him. The marauding enemies who surely wanted to come and slaughter him came to look for him, but he could not be found. The wife had hidden him away quite well. But it was during those moments in that pit that the famous kamate haka was formed. It is a story about life and death, and how wonderful it would have been when that enemy had walked away. How wonderful he would have felt to know that he would have had his life back again. Te Paraha, he formed this kamate haka as a metaphor for success in life, about how to draw yourself from a pit of terrors and to come out and attack the life of the future that he wanted. Now, unfortunately, this story of terrors and success, terrors within a pit, is all too common within the New Zealand Māori people. Young teenagers, 18 to 25 in New Zealand, have a terrible future ahead of them. New Zealand has the #2 highest ranking for youth suicide in the world in young men, and #3 in young women. Now you might be asking, why is this young Brisbane accounting professional here talking about suicide in youth? Well, it's true, I haven't experienced suicide myself or by anyone that I've known. But a friend of mine did recently try to take his own life in front of me. And it was these hands that stopped that blade of, or that shard of glass from going into his throat and taking that young man's life. Have you ever felt what it's like to hold the power of someone's life in your hands? Now, as a result of this, I experienced feelings of nausea and vertigo, and I spent weeks in bed not wanting to get out. In fact, I had started to consider some of the same considerations that this Te Paraha had thought. Kamate, kamate, kaura, will I live or will I die? That was the main predominant thought pattern going through my mind at the time. But research is showing, and this is what I discovered, is that one of the fastest ways out of depression is actually to help others. In fact, there's some studies coming out of North Carolina to show that there's certain activities such as writing a thank you note, or helping someone across the road, or getting their groceries for them, or even just having that feeling of gratitude in your heart is becoming one of the most effective non-drug treatments for depression, which is one of the leading causes of suicide. So in depression, really, you can help yourself by helping others. And so that's what I did. I put together a program, a community, a tribe of successful youth warriors. We called the community Ngāti Success. We needed to give some place, a location for these young Māori people and give them a reason to live life. Not just live and get by, but to live life with passion and enthusiasm and have a sense of abundance about the life they lived. And so the Life of Abundance and Success Warrior program, or the community that's live, enabled success warriors from all over Australia and the Pacific to come and share ideas that worked for them in their real world, real role models coming from our own culture. And in time, what happened is I invited one success warrior who I thought might be appropriate, who had been successful in one area. And by frequency and by attraction, she invited 3 others, and others came. And the movement is growing day by day. Now, the basis of this movement is, or the community, is based on a word called koha. Now, koha in our Māori language is about collaboration and contribution. Contributing to the table. If you ever go to a Kiwi's house, don't ever turn up empty-handed, or don't turn up with a box of chocolates. You turn up with a plate, and you contribute to the table so that there will be abundance for all. And that is the exact concept that we do with Ngāti Success. We have success warriors from all over the place coming in and sharing their ideas for what works with them. Now, I could just tell you what some of these principles are and were that we share with each other that work in the Māori community. But in fact, I'd rather share with you the story of Kamate, and we're going to build our own success haka together tonight. So kamate, am I going to die? Am I going to die? Kaura, will I live? Will I live? You know, Te Reo Paraha, he knew exactly what he wanted. His goal was to survive. So here's success strategy number 1. And what I want you to do is take out your weapon of mass creation. I want you to write down right now, what is your goal? What is your intention? Have you been inspired tonight of a TED idea that you believe is going to help either you or your community? If you've ever got a goal or an idea, take the opportunity now to create that. If you haven't been inspired as far enough to think exactly what your TED idea is, take your weapon of mass creation and write down something that you would benefit from personally if you were to start doing it now. Or write down something that you would benefit from personally, have that sense of abundance if you were to stop doing it right now. Now, if you're doing that or if you've done that, well, congratulations. The creation process has just started for you. We are clear about our end goal. Now for the fun, exciting sort of science behind this logic. Albert Einstein, one of the first success warriors, was one of the first ones to teach us the concept that all living matter or substance is made up of atoms, right? And at the base core of atoms, we're learning that everything is made up of energy. So if everything's made of atoms and everything at base core is energy, how do we get the difference between my shirt, this chair, a lady, a dog? Well, it's variations in frequencies of that same energy. Another success warrior, Thomas Edison, taught us that the brain has the ability, and this is cool as, the brain has the ability to transmit a frequency, just like the things that all matter is made up of, and transmit that frequency, and also is able to receive back the same frequencies. So what we're learning and what we've been trialing out in our success programs is the combination of these 2 factors. We've got the ability through our thought patterns to be able to think up of the future we want, not just have a glimpse into the future, but really vividly imagine it. And by means of the fact that everything's made of that same energy, all of this awareness, all of these circumstances, people and events are coming into our awareness to become available to us, to give us our ideas, to give us support to having these ideas come into fruition. Success strategy number 2. This hairy man standing above me, will they help me see the light of day once more? So within that kumara pit, he had been scared and wondering whether the hairy man, the lady and the husband who were looking after him and providing him protection, whether they would allow him one day to have the survival that he wanted so badly. He thought in that pit about the feelings he would have in the future if he got his goal of survival. He may have thought about the time that he would be able to spend with his children if he achieved his goal of getting out of there alive. He may have thought about how beautiful it would be to release himself from that pit, have the soil come to the side and see the light again. Now, how about you? How about you with your TED goal, your TED idea that's worth sharing tonight? Can you feel the joy of what it would be like to actually see that come into life? Can you feel the feelings of the people who are going to benefit from your goal? Can you see the smiles on the faces from those who are going to benefit from the art that's in schools? Can you see what's going to be possible in terms of those who benefit from the huge value that you're giving over to them? Success strategy number 3. Hopane, kopane, one upward step, another one's, the third one and the fourth. As this warrior who came to kill him went off and realized that he couldn't find Te Paraha, he finally had the opportunity to break out of this pit. And out of that pit had stairs just like we have in here, and he took one step after another. And he stepped out of that, and you could imagine the glee he felt as he started to walk out of that pit and into the goal that he wanted to achieve. Now, what is the application for us? Well, I've learned that success is like a magnet. Success activities can a flow-on effect through momentum to help us create the goals and create the future that we're looking for. So the key is here that we need to take an immediate step, and it needs to be small but right away. So right now, if you've got your goal, if you've got your TED idea in mind, take an immediate action that can be done right now. If you have to pull your phone out right now and Google something or text somebody, or if you have to reach over to the person next to you and say, I'm doing this. If you have to send an email to someone, that's exactly what you need to do right now. Because that immediate next step is going to give you a momentum to keep attracting to you the future that you want by maintaining huge momentum and massive action towards those goals. Our final step. Hopane, kopane, fititeira. One upward step after another, I finally see the sun shine. So as he finally walked out of that pit, he managed to see in reality what he had thought about for so long. And isn't it true? Isn't everything in our reality that we experience right now, it all started up here? The clothes you wear were originally an idea of your own or those who invented it. The fact that you're in this very stadium here started off as an idea for the TEDx creators. And now you're here by means of an idea that started in your mind, and that's what helped you be present. And it's our minds that can help us create anything we want in this future. We just need to put some amazing power and force and momentum behind these actions that will get us there. So let's think about it now. As he took those steps out of that pit, imagine how happy he would have been. Imagine how happy he would have been to finally feel the glee of being able to achieve his goal. He had the survival that he sought for so long. And wouldn't we benefit from a little more gratitude in our days? Just think about it for a moment. You may even feel compelled to close your eyes at this moment. Think about the things that you could be grateful for in your life that perhaps you've either brought into your life or has happened to you. The people who are there, the friends and family, you can be grateful for right now because they give you that sense of abundance. Think about the experiences that you've been able to experience in your life. That time down at the beach when everyone was laughing in the sun. Or that opportunity you had to speak in front of TEDx and taught these Aussies how to do the haka. There's so many beautiful things in life. Think about the heart that beats 10,000 times per day without us even having to think that. You know, these senses of gratitude can give us this abundance that we're looking for immediately. And in fact, any subsequent success that we receive as a result of this creation process means that it will feel even better for us because it's a bonus, wouldn't it be? So now we know our success haka. We've successfully completed and composed this haka. Now remember, there's 4 steps into this haka, and immediately following this, we're going to warm things up in here, and we're going to do our own. But remember, those steps is, first of all, you've got to know what you want and why you want it. Then you can feel the feelings now of what it would be like in the future to have experienced your goals. That's going to turn up the dial on that attractive force that comes from our thoughts being able to find things in our range that we want and that are trying to work towards us. We've got to start with small but immediate actions, but the key is that we've got to start with them now. And then finally, let's show some gratitude for what we do already have, because there's an amazing sense of abundance that sits within our hearts right now. So, that was the technical haka, the theory behind it, the principle. You know what's next. Uncle, do you mind? What I want you guys to do is please stand up if you don't mind. Let's get some blood flowing through our legs again. We're going to be guided through our next round of our haka, and we're going to think about while we're doing it, what were the strategies that this haka taught us to be able to create the life that we wanted. If you noticed before you started, the breathing patterns and that sense of certainty and fierceness is part of the haka process. In fact, the haka back in its original days were done as a war chant before a war was started. If there was an appropriate level of fierceness and certainty behind those warriors doing it, the war was over before it even started and countless lives were saved. Now today we're in a war against mediocrity and the belief system we have in ourselves sometimes that we're not enough or we can't handle it or we can't do it. So let's get into that state. Let's get into that state right now. And think about what your limitations may be. Do your breathing patterns that give you a sense of, strength and certainty and clarity. Feel that feeling inside that, anything's possible inside, because it is. And there's no limitations, and no one can say no to you, not any limitation within yourself or not what anyone can say to you. Now feel that feeling inside, and there's just 4 beats that we have to do all the way through. He'll take us through the rest and we can recognize and appreciate the power that comes before it. There's 4 things we need to do. There's legs and hands. Just need to connect the 2 4 times over. So let's try it. Just once, we just do 1, 2, 3, 4 and then stop. So it'd be... That's it. That's all you have to do. You're partway through the haka. So let's get into that state, get into that momentum. I'll get them to start off and you can take it home for us. And once we're finished, I'm going to tell you what the overall principle is for us. And by the way, before we start this, the last success strategy, this is an opportunity for us to get a bonus strategy here, is the mastermind principle. Can you feel the energy in the room right now, the intention of the other people here? Napoleon Hill had the opportunity to interview one of the most successful people in financial history, and he stated that the mastermind principle, or when more than one people come together, directed at one purpose or one goal, there's an energy that's greater than all of us combined. Now in our culture, that energy is called mana. Can you say that? 1, 2, 3, mana. Now that mana comes from within, and collectively we're going to experience the highest level of mana now as a group. So let's call upon that mana, we'll do our haka, and then we'll finish off, and we'll go into that life, and we'll take that idea into reality for us as well. So ready? That feeling inside them of they've got greater power than they had this time 17 minutes ago. Who thinks that that power inside them might be useful for turning their ideas into realities? Who thinks that they might be able to call on a future mastermind group to be able to collectively create an energy that's going to get you the momentum to where you want to go? Well, my TEDx idea is that we all apply a success haka every day. You might not stand in front of the mirror, but you need to face life with that certainty and that fierceness that nothing can stop you. Now, why would we do that? Well, for every one of you that live that life of abundance, who lives the life that is absolutely possible, when you do that for yourself, you subconsciously give authority and permission to those around you to do the same. And that, in my books, is not your success. Thank you.